from the studios in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Why are you so happy?
It's a very special day.
What day is it?
It's National Best Friend Day.
So why are you happy?
You're my best friend, and I love you.
I barely know you.
I have coffee and pie for you.
And that's why you're my best friend.
So, happy National Best Friend Day.
It's showtime!
Welcome into the Sports Guy Mike Show right here on a Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Sports Guy Mike Show, KCBR 98.5 AM 1040 in Colorado Springs. Online at 100mixfm.com. That's right. Go check it out. So, lots happened over the weekend. Don't forget, make sure you check us out on social media as well at Sports Guy Mike. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also check us out at sportscaster.com as well. Help us move up through the ranks over there. So make sure you go check us out. So this segment brought to you by our good friends over at Rhinos Sports and Spirits, y'all. That's Powers and Barnes, 4307 Integrity Center Point. It is Barnes and Powers, y'all. Make sure you go check them out. They do open at noon. Of course, social distancing still implies if you go in, but you can do pickup. You can do curbside. Go check them out at rhinosportsbar.com as well and find out all the happenings that are going on. Of course, they had UFC 250 there over the weekend. People told me it was a blast, so make sure you get down there. They always have great drink specials, great food specials. Check them out today. Rhinos Sports and Spirits right there on the corner of Barnes and Powers. All right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, only because it's starting to get under my skin. Truly. And it has nothing to do with my political views, what side of the aisle that I'm on. It has nothing to do with that. What it has to do is with the fact that the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, is more concerned with what is going on in the NFL than what is going on in this country. It's one of his biggest problems, in my opinion. I feel like he doesn't know how to compartmentalize. You're the president of the United States. People are protesting. A man is dead. And you're worried about what Roger Goodell is going to do about people kneeling. I don't look. I know how people know how I feel about this moron. It's not a shock. But what it is it really is a testament to his character. You can say whatever you want. I could care less what anybody thinks about him. I'm just giving you my opinion because this is my show. So I'm going to give you my opinion. I think that there's a lot more things going on in these United States of America than for this bloated, orange, ridiculous thing of a man can be concerned about than the NFL. Look, let them deal. Let Goodell and the powers to be and the NFLPA, let them all worry about that. You have bigger fish to fry. You do. But yet here you are on Twitter. Could it be even remotely possible that Roger Goodell's rather interesting statement of peace and reconciliation, he was initiating that it would be okay for the players to kneel or not to stand for the national anthem, thereby disrespecting our country and our flag? You have bigger fish to fry. Somebody needs to take his phone away from him. Somebody needs to remove his Twitter account. I don't know what else to say other than it is mind-blowing that the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, is more concerned with tweeting and putting comments about Roger Goodell rather than what's going on in this country with racism. Let's not talk about that. Matter of fact, let's retweet negative comments about George Floyd's past. Even more disgusting. Look, the only thing I can say politically that I want to say or that I can say on this show is every single person on this freaking planet that walks on any ground of the United States of America, you need to register to vote. If you are not registered to vote, shame on you. Go register today, right now, because you could say, I could say it, 1,000 people can say it, other people can say he's great. It doesn't matter. One of the biggest ways to be an advocate of change is changing from the top. Just is what it is. If you're gonna talk trash and you want and you want him gone and everything else that I hear people see, I saw some Steph Curry protesting and Trump's got to go and all this stuff. Vote. Be registered. If you're not registered to vote, you can't change a thing. I was sickened by the fact that the president of the United States was more concerned about people in the NFL kneeling rather than what's going on in the streets of just about every city in the continental United States. But, he's concerned with who's going to kneel. You know what I'm saying? All right. Sitting in the co-host seat today.
Here we go.
My man,
What's
Brandon
up?
Morrell. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, one show to another, man. Just finished up one thing. And like I said, sorry, the tardiness. I never like to be tardy, but hey, it's always good to be here too as well. I'm listening to what you're saying too. And I tell you, man, this is I don't want to use the word from the Dark Knight, what Heath Ledger said when he was a Joker about, chaos, man. But I tell you, man, 2020 is a weird year. And I think we're all just ready to get it over with. I think just to kind of prolong into next year. Cause I think not just how all this is impacting the sports world, but at the same time, the world. And
right.
And I'm with you, this guy in office, man, if you're not registered to vote, you might want to go out there and let's make something happen because, look, I was never keen on both candidates, but good God, man, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get too political here, but I'm not going to dive from the platform at the top, get into deep water, but this is getting ridiculous out there. What's going on, man?
Yeah.
When we talk about the same stuff over and over again, and we keep looking for topics and things to get back to the sports world, but I've never seen anything like it. And I agree with every point you're making this morning.
Unfortunately, and people are like, and look, and I have a friend of mine who is I don't know if you can use the word staunch Republican, if that's even a thing. All I can tell you is that he thinks that Donald Trump rises and, he thinks that some of the stuff he does is bad. Some of the stuff that he does is good. And that's fine. And that's what makes this country great. And I love the guy. He's one of my best friends. But he's a Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm.
And people look at me and they go, how can you be friends with a guy that backs somebody like him? It's like, well, again, that's what makes this country great, is that everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He's a registered voter. He's allowed to say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He votes.
Yeah.
My problem is that I am tired of now seeing people that are protesting, not just for the wrong reasons, but then I saw some stuff where people were going and talking to some protesters and they said, are you registered to vote? And I can't tell you how many people were like, no, but we're gonna. No. What do you mean no? So you're standing out here protesting for change and things to happen, but you're not even registered to vote for public officials? Really?
It's
what you need to do is take your behind home, get on a computer, or go somewhere and get yourself registered to vote. Then come down here and talk trash.
I agree. No, it's a big thing to take a stand, but like I said, we put these people in office. We elect people as elected officials, in this country to make decisions for us. And I understand everybody's got an opinion. I get that. But I think when you put somebody in office, you expect a job to get done for equality for all Americans out there.
Right.
Make this a democracy again. Don't make this a dictatorship. We don't need this like it was back Adolf Hitler and some of the other things that went on in this country too at the same time. But every time, and I'm just going to say this and leave it, every time he takes the podium, it's like what comes out of his mouth is hot air. And it's like, man, you have to work with people in any line of work, just like you and I do it in this broadcast business, work with so many people in Nashville, Tennessee, which is a great city for my music stuff. I work with you and I come up with ideas on this show. Any line of work, you have to work with your people to come up and make it better just equally for everybody and to improve a product. You can't sit there and work against somebody and say bad things about members of your cabinet, of all things, to try to make a product better, man. You can't badmouth it like that. If you do that, nobody wants to be around a negative person. And that's as far as I'm going to take it.
Dude, if he doesn't, excuse me, if he doesn't walk, talk, and look, if you don't walk, talk, and look like him, he ain't trying to hear you, bro. He ain't trying to hear you. And not to get too political, but for some people, if you've never seen the movie Selma, I implore and challenge people that have never seen that movie to go watch it. It's a phenomenal movie, okay? And it's just a blip in history. Just a blip. And U.S. history, let's put it that way. Reason being is because if these people that don't vote and haven't registered to vote, especially black people, you need to watch that so that you can see just what Dr. King had to go through with LBJ in order for everybody of color to be able to vote. LBJ kept pushing it off, and they marched, and they went to Selma, and he went back to the White House. The fact that you want to stand there and say that this is a man that needs to be removed from office, but yet you're not registered to vote, it's kind of counterproductive. It's like, are you kidding me? So for me, that's a big part of it. You have to be registered to vote. You have to vote. If you want the guy gone, and look, you may not be a big fan of Joe Biden's either, but you know what? I hate to tell you, as much as I liked Joe back in the day when all this went down with him and, with a lot of the topics that he carried with him when he was running with Barack. And I was just, I was kind of impressed by Joe and I really liked him. Some of the creepy stuff he does, that's whatever. But at least, his politics, I know, are where they're at. They're not wishy-washy. He's not going to say one thing today and do another thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Again, it's the worst of two evils, but at least I know where I stand with Joe Biden. With Donald Trump, I have no idea what's going on from day to day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, what color socks you wearing today? Not sure. Maybe green. Hey, maybe I'll wear yellow and green.
Just thinking
hey, wait a minute. You just said green. Nah, I changed my mind. I think I'm going to do yellow and red. Like, what? That's what you get from him. So, anyway, didn't want to get too long-winded about it, but apparently that didn't work.
It tells you where I voted in the last election, doesn't it? Yeah, probably most people that know us by now that made that comment. I said, it tells you where I voted last election. There you go. That's just all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, right? So, anyway, moving on, running back Adrian Peterson said without a doubt he is planning on kneeling. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of leave this here. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back because there's a lot of things going on, obviously, with the kneeling is starting to become quite the topic again. Even U.S. Soccer is considering repealing the ban on players kneeling because of what happened with George Floyd, which I can completely understand, and I understand where everybody's coming from. But on the other side of the break, I'm going to tell you why I think that it might not be, again, for the second time, the best place to do this. Because now there are plenty of other platforms that you can use to help with this situation. We'll talk about that more on the other side of the break. Sports Guy Mike Show. Don't go nowhere.
Adult Youth Swanson Counseling is a licensed and accredited OBH treatment facility providing people services in the criminal justice system for over 6 years. Adult Youth Swanson Counseling is located on 1826 East Platte, on the corner of Platte and Union, where the counselors are not only licensed and accredited, but also have life experience. They offer court-ordered DUI classes and any mandated court-ordered treatment. Use the promo code RADIO and pay only $20 for your initial intake fee for level 2. Adult Youth Swanson Counseling, where we help you feel better so you can get better and live a successful life.
Are you a first-time home buyer having trouble finding the right realtor that fits your needs? Well, look no further. Call Brandy Mendones with Keller Williams Clients Choice Realty at 719-291-4678. Take a journey into real estate with a top-notch company and a top-notch hands-on realtor that has your real estate success in mind.
I've been in the Colorado Springs area for 14 years, and I love experiencing everything the beautiful state of Colorado has to offer. I've raised my children here and would love to help you find your next home in Southern Colorado.
Call Brandy at 719-291-4678 with Keller Williams Clients Choice Realty, where
home and happiness happen.
Having car problems? Maintenance coming up on your vehicle? Don't gamble your money away at other mechanic shops. Come to All Service Auto. At All Service Auto, you get the quality workmanship and parts that you demand. Professionals at All Service Auto strive to make your experience the best you've ever had, from beginning to end. Everything from engine replacements to tire rotations. All Service Auto can get your vehicle back on the road and driving like you want it. No job is too big or too small. All Service Auto works on all makes and models, making them your one-stop mechanic shop. With affordable prices and customer service that is leaps and bounds above the rest, make your first choice All Service Auto, located at 3455 Shelton Loop, right near the intersection of Platte and Shelton. Call to set up your next appointment at 719-573-0292. Taking care of vehicles and the people who drive them. All Service Auto. Call now, 719-573-0292. All Service Auto.
due to recent events with COVID-19, Liberty Tax Now can do your tax return remotely. Give them a call at 866-871-1040 or visit them online at libertytax.com. Type in your zip code to find your nearest Liberty Tax office today. That's 866-871-1040. Liberty Tax, where you do life, they do taxes.
It's hot. 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 It's a red hot radio station.
Yeah, hey, is this Anton's Pizza?
No, this is Amazon Pizza. Amazon purchased Anton's last month.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to order a pizza.
Do you want your usual, sir?
My usual? How do you know what I want?
According to our records, the last 5 times you called, you ordered a large pepperoni pizza with thin crust.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that sounds good.
May I suggest you order a salad instead?
No, not really a veggie guy.
Your cholesterol is not good.
How would you know that?
I cross-reference your phone number with medical records and blood tests from your last checkup.
Okay, that's it. I'm sick of Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, and everything. I'm moving to an island without internet or cell phone service.
Sorry, but that's not possible.
Why?
You need to renew your passport first. It expired 3 months ago. Hello. He hung up.
Welcome back to the Sports Guy Mike Show. KCBR 98.5 AM 1040 here in Colorado Springs, online at 100mixfm.com. Sports Guy Mike, Brandon Morrell hanging out with you. Dude, it's really coming to that. Like, you wouldn't even be able to go anywhere these days. They know everything. They know where you're going. They know how bad your cholesterol is. Jeez, them crawl.
Crazy. I tell you.
Telling you.
My passport's expired. I need to renew it. Thanks for that reminder. Appreciate that.
Yeah, right. Dude, you know, it's funny when I heard that, when I listened to that this morning, literally text my wife. I was like, hey, we need new passports. Like, literally just like listening to that made me remember that. So, yeah.
No.
Adrian Peterson said, without a doubt, he will be taking a knee during the national anthem to protest racial injustice. And he expects to be joined by several NFL players. Washington Redskins running back made his comments to the Houston Chronicle on Friday in discussing Drew Brees' comments last week that players kneeling during the anthem were disrespecting the flag. New Orleans Saints quarterback, of course, apologized since then and all that good stuff, right? Now, what Colin Kaepernick did, and I'm never afraid to speak my mind in regards to this. When it happened, I tried to explain to people what my side was. But I also made sure that I precluded by letting them know that I literally have seen white police officers take advantage and do things that they shouldn't have been doing to black people in my community firsthand with my own two eyes. I've seen it. I've been around it. I've been part of racial profiling with police officers in the past myself, unlike Colin Kaepernick. Okay. So while I understood where he was going and what he was trying to do, and I applauded him for it, again, I thought his timing was for crap. I don't like you trying to mix that with what you are trying to do. Your platforms are endless. The places you can go, the places you can stand on a podium and speak are endless. You're an NFL quarterback, and you chose that place to do it. I understand why. Do not get me wrong. I completely understand why. Because for some black people, it is hard to look at that flag and be like, well, we're not even, we're not even for years we weren't even treated as the rest of you. So why do you want us to look at that flag the way you look at it? And I understand that. My problem with this is, why aren't there other ways? And why? Look, if they're going to kneel, that's fine. Here's what I'm going to tell you I think the NFL should do. Because the NFL, believe it or not, and you know this, didn't have the national anthem prior to the game. Everybody had to go out, other than 11 years ago. It was 2009 when they first started doing it. Do you know why they were doing it, Brandon?
I'll be honest with you. I really don't.
Money.
Don't know. Was it money?
It was money. It was about money. All of these gigantic companies wanted to attach their names to it. There were endorsement deals through the NFL. There was so much money being perpetuated through this national anthem thing that the NFL was like, oh, yeah, we'll bite into this. Because prior to 11 years ago, everybody was in the freaking locker room.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
And I'll be honest with you, I wanted to go back to that. I do. Because I want these players to find platforms to make change, not to disrupt something that means a lot to other people, black, white, yellow, green, all colors of people. That flag means a lot to people of all color. So for me, I'm challenging them. Find something else. Find something else that's going to be as impactful.
Yeah.
Because if you can't, then you're not being creative enough. And this is just you wanting to do it because you know it's annoying people, instead of trying to make a change and doing something in your community. Look, giving money is great, but you got to start doing other things than kneeling. You got to do better than that.
I think if you do this, and here's my only kind of concern with it, I'm okay with it going back to the locker room and staying there, and like I said, playing the national anthem when fans do come back to able to attend games, that kind of thing. I would like to see it uniform across the board in all major professional sports. I think that's something to where all guys need to stay in the locker room. You mentioned there are other outlets where people can definitely make their voice heard. You can protest in peace. You don't have to riot. You don't have to destroy buildings and infrastructure we work so hard in this country to build, through the hands of a working man. Blue-collar workers is the people, I always say, and that's why I vote the way I do. And my day job is what it is, because I believe, I'm not afraid to say it, Democrats my side. I'm sorry, but it is. It's just one of those things you research a lot. As much as we talk sports on here, we also will pay attention to the politics side of it too at the same time. I'm all out for somebody speaking their mind, taking a knee. The whole thing with Kaepernick, it didn't affect me. He stood up for what he believed in that time, in that, what we're faced with in this country, all these issues. So if you're going to sit here and take a knee and people say, oh, it's disrespecting the flag and our national anthem, that kind of thing, look, he believed in what he believed in at that time.
Right.
Police brutality, what was going on right now. We got so much going on in this world today, but I'm with you on that line. If we're going to do that, make it uniform across all 4 major professional sports. Let the players stay in the locker room, only sing the national anthem in front of the fans. And that way, we're not having cameras always reach out and, punch up somebody and creating another news story that we don't need right now.
Right.
Players stay in the locker room. Yeah, cameras can go back there, but those locker rooms are secluded off for players, staff, and coaches and people that work directly with the team. They're not letting media in the locker room the day before a game before players come out and play. So I think it'll just sit there and, like you said, prioritize creating more issues that we don't need in this country. And I'm all for players speaking out, but I think there's a time and a place for everything.
So Ronnie put this up. He said, do you think making a moment of silence for social injustice part of pregame? Look, I love it. I think maybe that's where Goodell's head should be at. Maybe if these guys are going to do that, then that's where, it can be brought to the forefront, and maybe maybe that's a way for Goodell to be able to kind of save some face here, because I'll be honest, if whoever kneels that you're right, that's why I fought for this country, for you to have that right to kneel during anything. National anthem, the freaking duck duck song. I don't care where you do it, when you do it. It's the reason I put the uniform on for as long as I did. But I'm going to tell you this. Again, I challenge these players to do better than kneeling. I get it. Here's the thing. We're kind of past that, in my opinion. Aren't we past kneeling at this point? George Floyd is dead. Kneeling isn't going to bring him back. Kneeling is not going to bring awareness to anybody. Unless you live under a rock, you don't know what's going on right now in this country. Kneeling isn't going to do anything. It's just not. So for me, I'm like, okay, great, AP, you're going to kneel? Good. Great, dude. What else are you going to do? I'll see you kneeling. And then what are you going to do after the game? What are you going to do before the game? That's what I'm trying to get out of these players. If you want to kneel, fantastic, kneel, but do something else. Kneeling isn't, we're past that. Cap did it. It brought awareness. It wasn't enough. We get it. But now what are you going to do now that we're on the other side of it? You're going to kneel? Oh, okay, cool, great. But I need you guys with money and platforms to do more in our communities. And I'm not just talking about these black players. I'm talking about all players. I don't care what color you are. You need to do better. You have a platform. And U.S. Soccer now is reconsidering that they're thinking about repealing the ban for players kneeling. That's great. I don't care if you kneel. Kneel whenever you want, but do something else.
Yeah, and it's getting to where, I say this sometimes too. It's kind of like, you see this as a kid growing up, and you always kind of want to you want to be a leader, but you see somebody else doing something, and you become a follower. And I think the more that I've been in education now, I kind of see the youth of America. Again, public schools are public schools, and you see kids that could take a stand on some issues, but they look over to the side, and you're like, man, so-and-so's talking to so-and-so, and okay, you could be a great leader. You ought to run for student body president or something like that, but you're going to be a follower, and it's okay. But I think it's right. Like you said, we all got opinions, and I think the best things, to date have to be something else. But I think that something else has to be done in a very, like you said, secluded environment. I'm not so sure about Ronnie's point of the whole, silence for social injustice part of the pregame. I guess if they're going to do it, if it has to happen, again, it has to happen in all sports, not just the NFL. The NFL can't be the only sport speaking out on these topics. The NFL can't be the only sport taking a stand, And I still think, like I said, all sports have to come back and do something and play their part in it. You just got to tell these people, look, money is power, power is money, and just because they make a lot of money, they're going to have an opinion. People are going to ask them. The media is going to come after them. Even in an off season right now in downtime, that kind of thing. So they got to be careful, like you said. We talked about it the other day. Don't put your foot in your mouth and have to come back and go, man, I got to bite my tongue. So Yeah, it's a very fine line we're walking here. But at the same time, I'm with you on the kneeling that's over, that's done with. If we're going to do something, let's put our money and resources into something new to have a platform to stand on. Some new platform.
Right. I mean, look, there's a Zoom meeting that I'm going to be a part of today. That's part of My Black Colorado, an organization that I saw a story on Fox 21 here in the Springs. And I've spoke to some of the organizers and some of the people involved, and I'm going to be a part of this, this amazing organization that is helping Black business owners and other business owners all getting together and trying to find a way to make a change and make things better. It's an amazing group of people, and I'm really looking forward to talking to them. But again, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. And I'm not just sitting here spouting words into this microphone. I'm trying to walk the walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't make millions of dollars. I don't wear a professional uniform.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to do whatever I can in my community, in this community, in the state of Colorado, however I can. This is the way I'm going to do it. And by having this microphone and being able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys have way more resources than I do. Now, I give guys credit, but I do want to say this. I saw this, and I was a guy that is of very few words is San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard for guys over at ESPN and CBS and whatever. It's very hard to get a good soundbite out of this guy. So he is a man of very few words. He doesn't, but the fact that he came out and said that this country is in trouble and that he is embarrassed as a white person to know that Greg Floyd could die in such a horrific way as a police officer with a knee on Floyd's neck went about his job in such a nonchalant, casual manner in a strange so he took to Twitter. He literally has a 3-minute video out, and I'm not going to play it, but people should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming from a guy who is, probably one of the best NBA coaches. He's on my top 10, but this is a guy, and he's a white guy who's literally saying, look, this country is in trouble, and we all have to figure out a way to do this together. It's not about what black people are going to do, what white people are going to do. What are we going to do together? And the fact that this man came out and went out on social media, said what he had to say, I absolutely applauded him. And he was probably one of the last people in the world I would have thought would have came out and said something.
One of the greatest coaches in NBA history, Greg Popovich. And I say we've seen it down here. My wife's a Spurs fan too. 5-time champion. And honestly, every post-game interview you see anytime, it's hard to, or even in-game interviews, if they're after a quarter or something, it's hard to get a word out of this guy, much less a couple of words. And trust me, like I said, all those classic interviews, post-game interviews, we didn't shoot well. We didn't play defense. We didn't move the ball, whatever it is. But to come out and put himself on a platform and speak in a way that is a tone for America to say what he said was fantastic. I think those words echoed throughout everybody in this country, and I feel like that's something he hit the nail on the head right there when he said what he said. And so that's coming from one of the greatest of all time.
Right.
And I think, like you said, put together a 3-minute video to come out and say those words. I think if you're sitting there, different agencies, like you said, different states, different people, rethinking, their different departments, police departments, whatever it is, and how to go over job criteria. Watch that video from Pop, and you'll see I would heed that advice pretty loud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, this is a 71-year-old white man.
Yeah.
Said it's up to white people to step up no matter what the consequences and help lead the charge for change. We have to do it. Black people have been shouldering this burden for 400 years. The only reason this nation has made the progress it has is because of the persistence, patience, and effort of black people. The history of our nation from the very beginning in many ways was a lie. And we continue to this day, mostly black and brown people, to try to make that lie a truth so that it is no longer a lie. I'm telling you, watch this video if you haven't had a chance to. 71-year-old white Greg Popovich. Really, really good video. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, I suggest that you check it out. You'll So, all right, before we take a break, I'm gonna on our way out of the break, I am gonna play the video that the NFL players sent out a message to the NFL about racial inequality. And when we come back, we'll talk about that, as well as UFC. And apparently Conor McGregor is retiring again. So, and Amanda Nunes, man, I don't know if you saw what she did to Felicia Spencer.
Yeah,
good God almighty, Joe Friday. She hurt that child. But on our way out, on our way out, we're going to listen to this players video for these NFL players about racial inequality and their message to the NFL. Keep it locked, Joe. Sports Guy Mike Show.
I'm going to get a little plug.
It's been 10 days since George Floyd was brutally murdered.
How many times do we need to ask you to listen to your players?
What will it take for one of us to be murdered by police brutality?
What if I was George Floyd?
If I was George Floyd?
What if I was George Floyd?
If I was George Floyd?
If I was George Floyd? If I was George Floyd?
I am George Floyd.
I am Breonna Taylor.
I am Ahmaud Arbery. I am Eric Garner.
I am McCoy McDonald.
I am Tamir Rice.
I am Trayvon Martin.
I am Walter Scott.
I am Michael Brown Jr.
I am Samuel Du Bois.
I am Frank Smart.
I'm Philip White. I am Jordan Baker.
We will not be silenced.
We assert our rights.
Peacefully protest.
It shouldn't take this long to admit.
So, on behalf of the National Football League,
This is what we, the players,
would like to hear you state.
We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of black people.
we, the National Football League,
Admit wrong and silencing our players from peacefully protesting.
we, the National Football League,
Believe Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black lives matter.
Hey, Bill, sorry to hear about your car accident. How are you doing?
Not good, Mary. My neck is killing me.
Have you found an attorney for your claim yet?
You know, I went to one of those guys that you see on TV all the time, and they said my claim was too small.
You need to call McDowell Law Firm. No claim is too big or too small. They specialize in criminal defense, DUI defense, and of course, personal injury.
I need that number.
You can call them at 719-227-0022. That's McDowell Law Firm at 719-227-0022 or online at McDowellFirm.com.
Thanks, Mary. I'm going to call him right now.
Having car problems? Maintenance coming up on your vehicle? Don't gamble your money away at other mechanic shops. Come to All Service Auto. At All Service Auto, you get the quality workmanship and parts that you demand. The professionals at All Service Auto strive to make your experience the best you've ever had, from beginning to end. Everything from engine replacements to tire rotations. All Service Auto can get your vehicle back on the road and driving like you want it. No job is too big or too small. All Service Auto works on all makes and models, making them your one-stop mechanic shop with affordable prices and customer service that is leaps and bounds above the rest. Make your first choice All Service Auto, located at 3455 Shelton Loop, right near the intersection of Platt and Shelton. Call to set up your next appointment at 719-573-0292. Taking care of vehicles and the people who drive them. All Service Auto. Call now, 719-573-0292. All Service Auto.
Due to recent events with COVID-19, Liberty Tax Now can do your tax return remotely. Give them a call at 866-871-1040 or visit them online at libertytax.com. Type in your zip code to find your nearest Liberty Tax office today. That's 866-871-1040. Liberty Tax, where you do life, they do tax.
Adult Youth Swanson Counseling is a licensed and accredited OBH treatment facility providing people services in the criminal justice system for over 6 years. Adult Youth Swanson Counseling is located on 1826 East Platte, on the corner of Platte and and Union, where the counselors are not only licensed and accredited, but also have life experience. They offer court-ordered DUI classes and any mandated court-ordered treatment. Use the promo code RADIO and pay only $20 for your initial intake fee for level 2. Adult Youth Swanson Counseling, where we help you feel better so you can get better and live a successful life.
Blaze one for the nation. KCBR AM Monument, K253AH, Colorado Springs.
It's crazy, you heard me?
The new Blazin' 98.5.
Day. People, let me tell you about my best friend.
Yeah, you got a friend in me.
You've got a friend.
Oh, I get high with a little help from my friend. I'm just waiting on a friend. I have a good time playing with my friend.
You're my best friend.
She's my best friend's girl. You're my best friend.
Bestest friends in the whole world.
You seriously are my best friend. Like, I can't even lie. Like, you are it. You are the one. You are numero uno.
Do you have a best friend?
Welcome back to the Sports Guy Mike Show. KCBR 98.5 AM 1040, 100mixfm.com. Sports Guy Mike, Brandon Morrell hanging out with you. Today is National Best Friends Day. You got a best friend, man?
Hey, you, man. There you go.
Oh, man.
Hey,
appreciate that.
They say the wife and you. There you go, man. That's top two right there. Come on,
That's all you need.
That's all you need. Right?
You need one, the wife and a friend. That's it. You're good to go.
Yeah, I get, look, there's a few in Nashville that when we get there next year and broadcast live at CMA Fest in June, that's going to be another, just like you said, a lot of friends up there too. So Nashville, my favorite city, no doubt.
There you go. All right. So that piece that we heard on the way out, Pat Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Juice Landry. I mean, there were a lot of guys in there. Odell Beckham Jr., Deshaun Watson, Zeke was in there, and it's a 70-second video. It was released on social media platform last week on Thursday. D-Hop's in it. And as you could hear, even New Orleans Saints wide receiver Mike Thomas, who has led the league in receptions the past couple seasons, was a key organizer of the video effort, sources told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Now, in his efforts to spearhead the planning of the video, Thomas reached out to a member of the NFL social media team who often works with players during the season for help with execution, and the league was aware of what they were doing. So, again, here's something else where now players are coming out and saying, look, we want to hear this from you, that you're not going to tolerate this anymore as a league, that you're going to actually help with this. And I'll be honest. I know what Roger Goodell said in his video, and I don't know if it was full on a reply to the players video, but it's not enough, man. Mm-hmm. Roger's still got some work to do, a lot of work to do. And this video, for me, I was like, good for them. They got together collectively and, letting the NFL, letting their boss know what they want to hear. So, in my opinion, I know Roger came out and said what he had to say, but I'm still waiting for him to take that next step and maybe do some of the things that the guys asked for.
Yeah, and I think this is where they come together. Like you said, the word you used that's most important in that statement is collectively and collaboration. And I think this is like anything else. We're going to do this. We go back to work and stuff like that, bring this message to the youth of America. I mean, now times are getting more tough as it is now, and we've got to spread this message in a very productive way and do things collectively to make sure that we're using the right state of mind and being in the right frame of mind, if you know what I'm saying. And that's something to where, think before you speak type of thing. And, while I saw pieces of that video he put out last week, I think he's right. We're doing something, we're taking a stand. Sorry, we didn't do enough before. And now coming back and making amends with that and trying to be, at least from my understanding, the first entire league to come out and do something about this and say something about this situation, which is very delicate, no doubt about it. I think it's something to where players need, like you said, need to come together collectively to be able to collaborate as a league and be able to come out and, like you said, not just say something that people want to hear, but say something well thought out that's going to make an impact. Because now it's about actions. It's not about words anymore.
Right.
And this is where you talk about the other day where sometimes the other news media, not us, the other news media can blow stuff out of proportion. But at the same time, we as Americans have to come together and do this through actions and not words anymore, and make a statement and a stand in our own communities through protesting or whatever it is to make this thing, to right the ship, if that makes sense.
Right. No, dude, and you've heard me on this very program say too many times, look, I love a good heartfelt speech, a good, call to action. Look, nobody loves those things better than me. But again, at the end of the day, it's all about your actions. It's what you're doing. What you're saying is fantastic, but can you put it into action? Can you put it into play? Can you make it actually come to fruition? So speaking of Roger Goodell, here's about a minute and 21 seconds of him on Twitter the other day.
It's been a difficult time for our country, in particular, Black people in our country. First, my condolences to the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and all the families who have endured police brutality. We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of Black people. We, the National Football League, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter. I personally protest with you and want to be part of the much-needed change in this country. Without Black players, there would be no National Football League. And the protests around the country are emblematic of the centuries of silence, inequality, and oppression of Black players, coaches, fans, and staff. We are listening. I am listening. And I will be reaching out to players who have raised their voices and others on how we can improve and go forward for a better and more united NFL family.
I mean, that's part of it. That's where you want Roger to be. And I'm glad that he took the time to do that. I'm glad that he said most of the things that the guy said in the video where he said, we the National Football League. It's a great step. But now I want to see the action. You say you're going to reach out to players? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Start reaching out to players. Get this thing moving. Because you guys only have, 90-something days until the first game comes around anyway. This is going to be an ongoing conversation. Mm-hmm. So, to me, that's the right step. And like you said, he's actually, and this is the first league that has actually come out and said something. Where's Adam Silver at? The NBA is built on African-American Black players. Yep. So Goodell's out. He's going to do what he can. Where you at, Silva? Where's Rob Manfred at?
They lost their mind a long time ago. They're going to disappear for a while. Trust me.
These guys are trying to get their leagues back. That's all they're worried about right now. They're not, they don't care about this apparently, but they better, because it's going to make it, you know what I mean? They better. But I always give credit where credit is due, and you have to give Roger Goodell credit for coming out. The players were speaking, and he listened, and he did what they asked, and he's behind it, and he wants to be a part of it, wants to be a part of the protest. But then by God, you better get out of your basement in Westchester County in New York and get to protesting. Let me see you out on those lines.
It's not surprising, too. I'll be honest with you. For the first league to come out was the NFL. I mean, worldwide, still the most popular sport today, outside of maybe soccer in certain countries. But still, I mean, outside people say, well, MLB. No, NFL is, like I said, the landslide over everything else. The most popular major North American professional sport out there right now.
Oh, yeah.
That is taking a stand. And so it's about time he starts listening to his players. And I'm with you. I don't know what is going on. I know they just announced their governor's vote last week and will resume play July 31st. But you can expect, I guarantee this next week or two, Adam Silver in the NBA is going to come out and do just what Roger Goodell did in putting together a video of that magnitude for people to listen to. And honestly, you'll see America. The NBA is going to have a hand in all this too as well. Mark my words on that.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have a choice. He better.
Yeah, doesn't. Yeah.
Okay, so it appears as though Conor McGregor has had enough. Moments after the conclusion of UFC 250, early Sunday, McGregor tweeted that he was walking away from MMA. His tweet said, "Hey guys, I've decided to retire from fighting. Thank you all for the amazing memories. What a ride it's been. Here's a picture of myself and my mother in Las Vegas. Post one of my world title wins. Pick the home of your dreams, Mag. I love you. Whatever you desire, it's yours." So I guess he's talking to his mom. But anyway, so, this is now the second time that he's decided to retire. He's 31 freaking years old, man. You're trying to tell me that you're going to retire again? Really? So Dana White had a few things to say. I'm going to pull it up here in a minute. And look, getting a soundbite out of Dana is always awesome. So here's Dana White on that.
Thing that you might not be aware of just moments ago, Conor McGregor tweeted that he's retiring. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see it, but Megan O'Leary told me.
Okay. What's your initial thought on Conor McGregor saying he's retired?
Listen, I say it all the time. First of all, let me start here. Let me reiterate. We're in a pandemic, and the world is a really crazy, confusing place right now. And I think that a lot of people are feeling this. Listen, you don't think that I do? You think that what I'm doing right now is easy at all? I mean, there's 3 times a day I throw my hands up. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this. So I understand what everybody's going through, and, everybody wants a fight right now. You just said it yourself. We can't move around. We can't go to different arenas. There's a lot of things we can't do. And I think a lot of people are frustrated right now, and upset, mad, confused. Mm-hmm. I think that the world is very emotional, a very emotional place right now. Yeah. And nothing surprises me right now. Nothing surprises me. People have been locked up in their house for 3.5 months. People are walking around wearing masks. There's protesting, there's rioting. There's a lot of craziness going on right now. Yeah. And I just think it's a weird time for a lot of people. And I'll say it again. I told everybody, you don't have to fight. Mm-hmm. We're not going anywhere. You can retire. You can say, I'm not going to fight. You can do whatever you want right now. Nobody is pressuring anybody to fight. Yeah. And if Conor McGregor feels he wants to retire, my feelings about retirement. You should absolutely do it. Yeah. And I love Conor. Conor's one of the, there's a handful of people that have made this really fun for me. And he's one of them.
Freaking Dana White, man. Look, here we go again with him and retiring now. Do you think he stays retired, or do you think this is maybe another way for him to try to spark up a return, big fight, make the money? What do you think?
Look, so the timing of this really makes no sense at all. I mean, with what we're going through, like Dana was saying right there, the uncertainty, people wearing masks. I mean, 2020 being one of the, I guess, worst years we've ever had, no doubt about it. I guess I'll go ahead and say it, let the cat out of the bag. Why in the hell would you even announce this right now with what the country's facing, what we're going through right now? And at the same time, as if COVID's not enough, we're dealing with, the other issue at hand right now too in this country and all the protesting and stuff. And I'm going, it just seems like sometimes, and you're right, professional athletes, we don't make millions of dollars, but yet professional athletes do, and they pick the wrong times to come up and what comes out of their mouth. And so, no, I don't think he's done. I think that song Money, 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 which was big time, is coming back. Hey, man, show me a handful of cash. I'm going to come back and get in the octagon once again. So, I mean, look, one of the most decorated prize fighters of all time, one of the best octagon fighters. I believe he's 22-4 is his record right now. He's fought some of the biggest names, but I guarantee you, once again, he was even saying in the article I even read on ESPN that a few years ago there was somebody he wanted to fight, and I can't remember the name, but Dana couldn't make it happen. And then about 6 months later, I think it was, in that same article, they wanted to put together a fight with another top UFC performer. They couldn't make that happen. He had to kind of settle for something else. So, no, as long as you show me the money, just like you and I, somebody comes in invest in your program and in your show, I'm a part of this with you, we're going to take the money. That's the bottom line. Money makes this country go round and round. And so he can have all this and have millions of dollars put back and feud with this person or that person. But honestly, look, man, that's what he does for a living. That's his job. And if he were 38, 39, and Father Time was catching up with him, I get it. 31, absolutely not. Wrong time to make the announcement, a crappy way he did it. And then he was even saying something in the article, I believe, something like he was going to buy mom a house or a car or like all this other stuff. And I'm going, yeah, that's cool, but you're not done with your career. Just like Brock Lesnar went to the WWE.
Right.
He could always cross back over. And so these guys they have to rest their body. They have to train. They have to eat right. So just because you're not seen on one brand doesn't mean you're not going to cross over and take Vince McMahon's money or Dana White's money. They got money. They got the sponsors. They're business people. And look, he can sit there and say, Conor's one of the greatest of all time and do, say these things about. But no, look, it was Conor McGregor was making UFC money, making white money and putting it in his pocket. And so my thing is, as long as somebody knows you can do that at the same time, man, it's a what have you done for me lately? So I don't think Conor McGregor's done.
Yeah, I don't think he is there. Dude, I think it's just another ploy to get another payday. Yeah, I do. I just think it's another ploy. I mean, good for him if he's, if that's how him and John Jones are going to treat Dana and Dana's going to take it. Well, then that's on Dana White. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I don't think he's done by any stretch of the imagination. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to talk about the MLB not planning to test players daily for coronavirus. I'm not quite sure how they're going to pull that one off. The NBA is developing replacement system for injured or sick players. And, that's going to be interesting too. And I also am going to talk about Michael Irvin. I'm going to try to get somebody from the Cowboys on. Cowboys owe Dak back pay for the last 4 years. Yeah. Okay. Michael, whatever you say, dude. But anyway, all right. Before we get out of here, I did want to say our thoughts and prayers go out to the Caldwell family. Rasheed Caldwell. There's an update from, I believe it was this morning, over on TMZ Sports, that cops are saying now it appears that Caldwell was targeted. It was not a random act. Upon arrival, officers located an adult male victim of a gunshot wound in the front yard of a residence. Officers immediately began providing life-saving measures, cops say. Tampa Fire Rescue arrived, and basically he died in the ambulance. Of course, Caldwell's a former wide receiver, played with Tom Brady, was shot and killed in Tampa on Saturday. He was 41 years old. Sad news to hear about that. And then to find out that he was actually targeted in some way, shape, or form is even worse. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow as well. But before we get out of here, anything you want to say to nice people before we go?
Hey, man, like I said, just coming up on the show this week, I've got country music artist Ty Herndon is going to drop by. And then we got one of the top Texas country artists, again, backstage past 409, Texas country artist John Wolf is going to stop by, too. So some more good shows coming up this week, too. And then July 25th, I'm going to take part in a celebrity softball game in Grand Prairie, Texas, broadcasting live at a field called Air Hogs Stadium in Grand Prairie, Texas, just north of Dallas. We're going to talk to a lot of celebrities, musicians, and myself and my new co-host Deanna Wheeler are going to have a good time out there doing some good stuff, and it's all going for a good cause too at the same time. So.
Look at you doing celebrity stuff. Nice. All right.
Hey, I'm going to have to have you on when I get out there too.
All right, real quick, happy birthday to Bonnie Tyler. She turned 69 years old today, and today would have been his 93rd birthday, and of course he just passed away last week. Jerry Stiller. Just recently passed away. He would have been 93 years old today. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, making this part of your day. And as we say around here all the time, don't sweat small stuff. Right here. See ya.